Everybody loves the idea of a brand new house.
But what comes with the brand new house?
Mello roos,
Fees, taxes.
money. All right, so it's not just you buy the house, because a new house is going to cost very similar to any other current resale home. But when you buy a new home, especially here in Southern California, you are going to have what's called mello roos.
What does that pay for?
They're CFDs, community facilities districts. It's paying for all the infrastructure that didn't exist before they put that neighborhood up.
The streets,
schools,
gutters, internet,
fire.
Okay, all that stuff.
All that stuff,
okay.
Right? So it has a really, really big impact on your monthly payment.
Huge.
$1 million house is not $1 million house. They're
Right.
apples and oranges if you got mello roos on one and you don't on another. So let's talk in real life examples of what's currently active on the MLS.
Okay.
What you could be looking at on a payment on one versus the other.
Okay, so we're gonna call this a high fees example. So the high fees example is an area where you think, hey, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna buy this brand new house and it's probably gonna come with an HOA and maybe some higher taxes. Let's look at what that looks like.
And let me just say something real quick. This isn't only a house that is a brand new build where you're buying it from the builder. Anything that was built in the last 20 or 30 years is going to have this. So this one is in the MLS, but I think this was built 6 years ago. So don't just think that you're only going to have this if you're buying directly from the builder.
I have a 10-year-old house and I still have mello roos.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna make these numbers really, really simple. So we found a house, call it the Irvine area, okay? So a newer Orange County area. $1 million purchase price, okay? Then we have a very standard 20% down.
Makes it easy for the scenario,
Okay,
right?
20% down, $1 million. Now we have 5.5% interest rate.
Which I would have laughed at you last year, but that's about right now, so.
Historically low. Okay.
It's true.
Okay, HOA. You're gonna have an HOA in this area. Chances are when you buy a newer property with a higher tax rate, you're gonna have a higher HOA.
Pretty much every new build community these days has HOAs. It's very rare to find one that doesn't. So
everything's luxury. Everything has a pool. It's all
kind of like if you're getting a new house and you're getting mello roos, you're going to have an HOA. So
okay.
Fair.
So $1 million, 20% down, 5.5 interest. HOA is around $400. Tax rate. Now, without going too far into the weeds, there's a base tax rate on every house.
Like 1.1.
Right.
Usually.
Then there's some fees associated on top of that, which we call special assessments, mello roos. They're kind of all interchangeable. We're going to call that number 1.9% of the purchase price.
For this example.
Yes. Now, drum roll. What's your monthly payment? $6,634.
It's not a little.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
OC, man. All right.
California dream. All right, so do you have the lower fees example?
Yes, so same thing. There is another property currently listed for sale in the MLS, $1 million also, and just to make it all as apples to apples as we can. Also 20% down, 5.5% interest rate. But in this example, you don't have mello roos, so you just have regular property taxes, 1.1%.
And no HOA?
No HOA.
Okay.
What is the payment on that one? Drum roll again. $5,563.
So $1,100 less.
$1,100 less. Same $1 million house.
So what if we were to take the high fees property and see how far your money could stretch? I mean, what could you get if you didn't have that HOA in that tax?
So yeah, math this out. You have, say, okay, high fees example, you said the payment was going to be $6,634.
$6,634.
Yep, so if that's the payment you can afford, $6,634, you've got 20% down, you've got a 5.5% interest rate, but you find a house that doesn't have HOA and taxes, what can you afford? You can afford $1.2 million in house.
So you can get $200,000 more.
Can you believe, this is what people don't understand. Mello roos, it's not just like, you got extra taxes. $200,000 in buying power is eaten up by HOA and mello roos.
That's a lot.
I mean, yes, if you want to have the amenities that come with a brand new community, then maybe it's worthwhile to you, right? But $200,000 can buy you a lot more house.
Right. And just for some personal examples, like when I first started out in real estate, I would help people move out to like the Chino area in the preserve, and they did not understand that those prices back in the day, Danielle can attest to this, she's sitting behind the camera, those prices were like $300,000 to $400,000 for these houses. Those numbers are phenomenal, but when you add in that high tax rate and the HOA. We
were just out there last week touring the preserve, and holy moly, some of these
$1 million.
numbers blowing my mind. They have homes that are listed for, I mean, if you don't even see, if you look at what they say the prices are, $700,000, $800,000.
And you don't look at the rest.
But when you math out your payment, you might as well be in Orange County. So if you think, we're going to move because we live in Orange County now, we're going to move out. Let's head east, save some money. You have to pay attention to this. You have to work with an agent who's going to spell this out for you.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you're going to rude awakening, and maybe you moved east for no reason.
Right. And you get suckered in once you get out to those model homes and everything's so pretty.
And new.
You don't notice the tax rate.
Yeah.
So-
So, gosh, these numbers, these are real world scenarios. So important. Work with somebody who's going to make sure that you look at all this detailed, nuanced
We
stuff.
can run all this on the fly. We go out to the house and we run it right for you. We give you a perfect example of what your monthly payment will be. We'll tell you right on the spot.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Hope you learned something today.
The more you know.
See you next time.